How to make chores easier. Oh my gosh, are you like me and you've watched 1,000 videos about cleaning hacks, how to do laundry faster, how to clean your bathroom with ease, right? Does that sound familiar? We've all watched those hacks where we're like, oh yeah, great idea. And then we go to do them and we're finding, this isn't making life any easier. Yeah, it might be a little bit faster way or a different way to clean, but it's not helping me make chores easier. So I'm here to help you today. My name is Erin Cook. I am the creator of FindYourFreeTime.com, and I help busy people just like you find freedom and joy again by simplifying and systematizing their daily businesses and their lives. And today I want to share my system with you. I have 4 kids and a husband, as well as 3 businesses. And if you're talking about somebody that doesn't have time to clean, you're looking at her, okay? So no matter who you are, this system will help you. Working moms, stay-at-home moms, single dads, you know, anybody that is watching this video, it's gonna help you if you follow the steps, and that's so important. Okay, so let's move on. I know you've watched those hack videos. This is totally different. Stay with me. Okay, so why is it that when we're watching all these video hacks, nothing's happening? Like, it's just not making life easier like it promises. So really all it is it's a different way to clean things, right? You watch the video and you're like, oh, I'll try that. Well, it's just a different way to go about doing it. Yes, it might make it a little bit quicker or whatever, but still you are struggling, if you're anything like me, to keep up with everything. I have 4 kids and a husband, and sometimes the husband is harder to clean up around than the kids, right? It's just really hard sometimes because he's busy too. And if you're in that situation, here's the thing. The very first thing you need to do when you want to make chores easier is this. And I don't know if you're going to love me or hate me, but it's the truth. And I had this problem. That's why I figured it out. You have to sit down and decide, okay, do I really have a problem with chores, or do I have a problem with stuff? Okay, do you have too much stuff? Because think about it, if you're finding yourself reorganizing and just moving things around and preparing to do chores, like for a half an hour, if you have to get everything ready so that you can do your chores, that's an issue. Or when I hired the person that helps me clean, when I had to sit down and get ready for like an hour before she could even come in and clean, I knew I had a problem, right? So it's a stuff problem or a things problem instead of just a chore problem. So that's the very first step. You really need to sit down and figure that out, because the more stuff you have, the harder it's going to be to clean up around it and to keep up with everything and to do your chores. So that's the very first thing. But we're going to move to step number 2, and we're going to assume that you don't have a stuff problem. It's a chore problem. Okay, so the big thing about after you've gotten all the stuff, you know, out of your house and it just keeping what you need, if that's your goal, or you've got it to where you think, hey, okay, I've pitched enough stuff and it's not a stuff problem, let's move on to the chores. You have to find a home for everything that you use. And by that I mean everything in your house has to have a place, because if you're keeping stuff on your counters or, you know, in buckets next to your bed or in your closet, it's just overloaded with stuff, that's gonna start to be a problem, right? Everything needs to have a home, and preferably not on the countertops. You know, visual clutter can drive us crazy, even if it's not clutter. Anything that's sticking out and it feels out of place, it's just gonna throw us off guard as well. So everything in your house needs to have a home if possible. So what we do in our house to make life a whole lot easier, I used to have the issue with getting things ready to go in the morning. Like the kids need to bring this, that, and the other thing. I need to bring maybe this bag of clothes back to the store or donate it to Salvation Army, whatever. But I had trouble keeping track of everything I needed to bring out the door with me the next morning. I had a different career as a physical therapist. One of my clients' grandfathers made me this big chest, almost like a toy chest or a little bench. And now what I did is I put that in my hallway, my mudroom, and I keep backpacks, binders, my daughter's flute in it, my purse, anything that needs to go out the door with me in the morning, I put in there, okay? It has a home. The other thing that we find is really helpful is a command center. Now, many of you know what that is, but that actually changed my life as well, because kids are bringing stuff home from school, right? We have a sheet we got home the other day saying, you know, there's a painting class at school, sign up for this, and then the next day they're gonna have a dance at the school, sign up for that, and all these papers that come home, you know what they are. They can't put them all on one sheet. They gotta give you 20 each night. All of those papers that come out of my kids' folders go in our command center. They each have an envelope slot that they put in so that I know where they are, so I can check what needs to happen and what I need to sign and send back to school, all of that. Because if that was just thrown in their backpacks, thrown into the big box that we have to store them, you know, I would never know what's happening. So my kids have a routine. They take out their lunch boxes and the stuff in their backpacks. They unpack their lunch boxes, put the stuff in the dishwasher, and then they also put their papers into these envelope boxes. And that's just a routine. So everything that you have needs to have a home, but then you have to create a routine to keep up with that. Okay, because if you come in and you're just throwing things around and you know it has a home but you just don't bother putting it there, it's just gonna create more clutter, visual clutter, mental clutter, and anxiety about cleaning it up. All right, so once you have these homes for everything that's in your house, you have to create a system to keep it there. And even more so than a system, it has to become a habit, okay? And that's really hard to do, so you have to get everybody on board with that. So that's step number 2. If you don't indeed have a stuff problem and it's a chore problem, you need to first do that. Find a home for everything, okay? But people don't do that. They just go right to the hack videos. So now you know what you need to do. So let's move on to step number 3. This one you've heard me talk about a lot. When we have a goal that we want to achieve, such as cleaning the home, or even if we want to lose weight, if we want to get a different job, we have to do all these different things to prepare, right? So it's the same with cleaning your home. We have to take it in steps, or what I call chunking it down. So how do you do that with chores? Here's what I would do first. We have to make time for everything, first of all, and we have to make a schedule. And I know you knew that was coming from me, but what I need you to do first is think about everything you have to do each day, right? Because we have daily chores and we have weekly or monthly chores. So we have to figure out, we're gonna separate those first, and we're gonna go with the daily chores first. So for me, that's laundry, that's dishes, and that's pretty much getting everything ready for the next day to go. That's what we do every single day, no matter what, all right? So let's take laundry. We need to chunk laundry down. Now, what does that mean? Well, what are the steps for doing laundry? Okay, this sounds really like kindergarten level, but you need to think about it because you have to have a system for each of those steps. So for us, laundry, the kids have a hamper upstairs. They need to empty the laundry hamper at night after they've changed their pajamas and everything, and they have to bring the clothes from the hamper down to the laundry room, okay? If for some reason I feel like doing laundry that night, I can do it, okay? But if not, I just do the laundry in the morning. But I don't do it until they've woken up and they've brought their clothes from sleeping in into the laundry. I try to make them wear pajamas 2 nights in a row and then put them in the laundry, so depending on the day. But our routine for laundry is clothes go out of the hamper into the laundry room at night, and in the morning, after you get changed, they go into the laundry. And then I can do the laundry, right? That's just a system that I can have for laundry. Okay, that's one piece of it, one chunk. Then I need to schedule, and I know it sounds silly, schedule when to run the laundry. In my family, it's either that night or the next morning, okay? And depending on my schedule, I can either throw them in the dryer before I leave to go to work, or I can do it when I get home, all right? But I'll know that prior night what I need to do. So that's just how I chunk laundry. And then the other 2 components are what? Throw it in the dryer and fold them and put them away. Okay, so you have to schedule each piece, and that's the way that you're gonna make things work. Dishes. So we do dishes every day. Do you hate dishes? I freaking hate dishes. And God bless you if you don't have a dishwasher, because I think I would die. So dishes, our routine is during the day, when we're dirtying dishes, we don't put them in the sink. We put them right in the dishwasher. Like, it's a no-brainer, and it makes it easier, but we don't often think about that because it's a habit we have to create. It's a system. So you have to train the people in your house, if that's gonna be your system, is to put the dishes right into the dishwasher. Okay, and then I run the dishwasher at night. In the morning, they're clean. Guess what I do? I empty the dishwasher, and then all day long, we put the dirty dishes in, okay? So let's move on to step number 4. So step number 3 was chunking the daily chores. Step number 4 is gonna be chunking the weekly chores. So here's the thing, there's a couple ways to do this. One of the most popular ways for working people is to have a cleaning day, right? Do you ever do that on a Saturday and clean all day? It freaking sucks. Okay, sometimes I find myself doing that when I get totally off guard, like when we moved into this new house, everything was a hot mess, right? I didn't know what to clean, what was clean, because you're dragging stuff in, messing up the floor, throwing things everywhere. It was a mess, and I was so anxious, I couldn't stand it. So we had to get a routine. But doing this one day and cleaning everything was not happening because there's so much to do. What would happen if you didn't get a chance to do it that weekend? Then you'd go the whole rest of the week not having a clean house again, you know what I mean? It'd be your second week of no cleaning. It would drive me crazy. So that's one way people do it, and that's okay if that's your thing. You just have to come up with your own system. But here's what I like to do. I like to chunk the days into different rooms. So each day I do a different room. Okay, top to bottom. The thing that sucks about it, and it's a trade-off, is that I never have a totally clean house. You know what I mean? That feeling of everything in the house being clean, I don't have that. But that is my trade-off for not having to spend a whole Saturday trying to clean around everybody that's home when I'm home, you know, trying to get it all done in one day and missing out on whatever's going on at home. So that's my trade-off. So I do things by the day. So one day I'll do bathrooms. One day I'll do the common living area, which is our living room and dining room. One day I'll do the kitchen, and so on and so forth. And it makes it just a wee bit easier to tackle. The other nice thing about it is because we're working and we're busy, right? Even if we're not working outside the house and we have a stay-at-home mom position, which is super duper hard, God bless you all that are able to do that. Even if you're doing that, you're still on the go. I don't care who you are. Nobody nowadays can just sit home and do nothing. That's just not who we are. So I know you're busy. So the nice thing about doing a daily routine is that you can do a little bit in the morning and then maybe a little at lunchtime when the kids are sleeping, a little bit at night. So you still don't have to do it all at once, like do the whole bathroom at once or the whole bedroom. You can chunk it into different days. If you have never had a system, you need to figure out, do you want to do clean all in one day, have a cleaning day, or do you want to chunk it up into days? So that's step number 4, is you have to come up with that system. And then step number 5, see how easy this is? Okay, it's not really hard. But the problem with those hacks is that you don't sit down and actually think about how they can help you. Okay, it's just almost like a different way to clean. So stop watching those hacks until you've got your system, then go in and see the different ways to clean. So step number 5 is where I actually chunk down each room. Okay, and there's 4 steps to cleaning. That's it. When you break it down, it's so simple to clean your home, to do that chore. Okay, so this doesn't include those daily chores that we talked about. Those are already scheduled. You've figured that out. Now when you're doing your weekly chores, you have to do 4 steps. The very first thing you do, get rid of all the trash and everything that doesn't belong in that room. Okay, super easy. Take a bin. Sometimes I'll just take a laundry basket. I'll grab whatever's around. We have a lot of cardboard box. Throw everything in there that doesn't belong in the room, and then throw all the trash away. Usually it's like, I don't know, paper plates and stuff shoved under my kids' beds or whatever. So that's step number 1, super easy, and that's for every room. Step number 2, put the stuff away that does belong in the room. So if you have like laundry laying on your bed or whatever, go ahead and put that away before you start your cleaning. All right, so anything that's in the room that stays in the room, but just isn't in its home, remember everything has a home from step number 2, go ahead and put that away. All right, so the next thing you're gonna do is do all of the surfaces. Remember, we clean from top to bottom because that dust is gonna fall, and the last thing you wanna do is sweep. And then mop if you have to, okay? Or vacuum, however you call it. I know in PA they call it sweeping the floor, even if you're using a vacuum. I learned that, Mima. Those are the easy 4 steps to cleaning anything. Same with the kitchen, you know what I mean? Because your daily steps would be to do the dishes and things like that. When you're doing the surfaces, that's when you would add in your sink. You see how that works? So to sit there and watch these ways of making life easier without sitting down and thinking about the system to maintain it or even to get it going, it doesn't always make sense unless you have the time to sit down and do that. And I've just laid it out for you, so you have no excuse. All right, so let me tell you a few tips. These aren't hacks that are gonna change your life, but they're tips to help you make these new changes a habit, okay? First, I wanna talk about one and done. What does that mean? It means that if something is coming into the house, or if something's just laying around, I want you to touch it one time to put it in its place. That doesn't mean you come in the door, you throw your coat on the chair next to the closet, you actually put it in the closet. How's that? Because you know, when we're doing things in a hurry, I know it takes a few extra steps to put things where they go, but boy, when it comes time to cleaning and getting your house ready to clean, it's so much easier if everything's already in its place and all you have to do is whoosh, whoosh, whoosh through the room that you're choosing to do that day and be done with cleaning instead of having to spend half an hour putting everything away, okay? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is very similar. This deals with mail. Do you get a bunch of mail that you throw in a pile and save for later? I used to do that. When I go to the mailbox, I get my mail, I bring it into the house. As I'm coming to the house, walking to the house, I look through it and I get all the junk mail ready to throw into the trash can when I get inside. Okay, that problem's done. I look through the rest of the mail, and anything that needs to be done right then that I can do in 2 minutes, I'll do. You know, if it's something out of the ordinary that's not a bill, I will take care of it right away. The other thing I do is I batch pay my bills, which means I pay them all on one day of the month. Okay, so if you're able to do that, I would suggest doing that. It's so much easier. But the whole point is not to just bring your mail in, throw it on the counter, and wait for later. Okay, that's just something that's going to add to the clutter and to your to-do list. Another fun thing that I found pretty helpful was getting cleaning products that can clean all surfaces. So for the bathroom, you can use 1 part distilled vinegar to 1 part filtered water, spray it in your shower, spray it on your countertops, your vanities, spray it on your floor, and just use that for your cleaner, toilet, whatever. My problem is I have a hard time with that because I want everything to be killed. Like I know it doesn't kill everything, it kills most things, but you know, I'm not totally there yet, so I do buy a solution that I mix with water and I spray all through my bathrooms. I even use it on my wooden floors, okay? And it works great, and in my kitchen. So 1 cleaner, bam, 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 can make life a little bit easier. And lastly, this tip saved my life, okay? Delegate, delegate, delegate. I know you're gonna say, but Erin, nobody cleans like I do. The people in my house, they don't take as much time as I do to make it right, blah, blah, blah. I know that, have 4 kids and a husband, okay? And they help me for the most part. But let's say that the stairs need to be swept. I have just wooden stairs, okay? What I do is I give my kids those dollar store chenille socks that you get for Christmas time, right? Put them on their hands and they go and they dust the stairs. Yes, they may miss a couple spots, but guess what? It's done. Okay, so ask for help in any way you can. The other thing that changed my life was hiring somebody to help me. Why? Because if I can spend more time focusing on what I need to be doing, just like work, for instance, because I work from home, if I can work an extra hour a day, my income can more than pay for hiring that person to help me, right? If I work, 5 extra hours a week, the income I make from that for somebody coming in one day to help me clean is gonna be worth it. So think about that. If you aren't hiring anybody right now, even if you aren't working outside the home, a helping hand just to chop vegetables, to maybe meal prep, to cooking your meals, that can be so helpful. So that is my other tip for making life easier when it comes to doing chores. Have somebody help you. So I hope you liked this video. And again, if you need time to figure out how to do all this, or you just need more free time in general, go to findyourfreetime.com. That is my free program to help you find 1 to 2 hours every single day to do what it is you need to do or you want to do. Yes, that's what I do. That's how I found 1 to 2 hours a day. And I do it by using my phone to schedule my entire life, and it's only 5 steps. And you can do it, and it's free, and I want you to head there now, findyourfreetime.com. Again, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. We do this every week, and I would love to have you here. Please, if you have a question or a comment on something you'd like to see, feel free to leave it below. I'm in here all the time answering questions, and I would love to answer yours. So everybody have a great night, great day whenever you're watching this, and God bless, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care. The other thing is, what else do we do? I have my cheat sheet. Sorry, I always drop my paper. You know that. That was